Hey guys, it's JongLi here with another Rome Total War online commentary battle. This is the biggest online battle I'll be posting up to date, and it's a 3 vs 3 31k battle. So I'm playing as the Julii Romans alongside Copsman and Princess Luna, which I believe is a new player, and she's playing as Germania though. She's brought 3 Berserkers, 7 Chosen Axemen and 6 Gothic Cav. Copsman has brought 6 Praetorian Cav, I think 11 Urbans and the rest Archers? Something like that. We have OrmenLange on our left flank, and he's brought the SPQR Romans. He's got 2 Archers over there, so he's cut 1 off that. So 5 Cav. 13 Urbans, 2 Archer Auxilia, Titans Hades here in the center as the Brutii. He's brought 4 Archer Auxilia, I believe, 6 Praetorian Cav, and 11 Legionary, well, 11 Urban Cohorts and 1 Legionary First, 10 Urbans and 1 Legionary First. Then we have Raging Asian, who was also a newer player. Bringing 4 Archer Auxilia, 6 Praetorians, and the rest Urbans. So we've got a pretty skirmishy kind of build here, and that's because Copsman brought Archers to counter their Archers, because they would definitely bring Archers because we have Germania, and Germania is really weak to missile fire. So it was pretty clever of them to bring Archers, but we came prepared to kind of skirmish it out. The only one who didn't come prepared to skirmish it out was me. I just brought a standard 14-6 kind of build. So as you can see, we're just getting lined up here. About to start the Archer duel. It's probably started a bit already. Yeah, so Copsman said that it would be great if we could take away as much of the Archer missile advantage from opponents as we could before we went in for a Germania push. And I think this battle showcases pretty well how sometimes you can't push both flanks at the same time. You've just got to focus on one flank. And yeah, don't overextend yourself, because if you do, you might end up in a bit of trouble. Anyway, we've got the Cav advantage by 1 unit, but they have higher quality Cav than me and Princess Luna, so yeah, because they've all brought Archers and they've just put their spare upgrades on their Cav. So those Cav are gold and they have chevrons. And the Gothic Cav isn't as powerful as Praetorian Cav. So we've got these Berserkers safely at the back here. And we're just using our Archers to take away their Archers and yeah, skirmish it out. Meanwhile, I was busy trying to figure out whether we should push the left or the right, because pushing the center is obviously suicidal for Germania, because you would have 3 like full armies of Cav just smashing into you, and that's not good for Germania, because Germania's infantry has really low defense. So Cav charges are devastating, even against like Berserkers. We've just got Copsman here using his awesome skirmishing ability, and we're just doing our best to protect the Archers and stuff. I'm kind of scared that they'll try and wrap around the flank, so I'm just trying to keep my army on this side a little bit to not have Raging Asian push up too much. But yeah, everything's going pretty smoothly. There's just some light skirmishing, already some Archer fire being traded by these chosen Archers, Archer Auxilia, with these guys. But Raging Asian still hasn't put in his 4 Archer Auxilia yet, and he's going to do that now. So if you look at the armies, the heaviest infantry force on their side is probably Ormen. He's got like 13 urbans. Hades has 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 11, and Raging Asian has 11 as well, I believe. So Ormen's definitely got the most urbans on the opponent's team. So originally I considered pushing on Raging Asian, but you'll see our final decision later what we do with the berserkers. They're still over here at the back. We're unsure whether to put them on the right or the left, because if we can't push both at once, because we don't have a wall of infantry. Like, because they have 3 Roman armies, they have 3 walls effectively, and depending on how they use those 3 walls, they can easily just, you know, push us into a corner. If you bring Germania, their infantry won't hold out for very long. It's like they either win or they lose. They won't stall for very long. So yeah, and they've brought this many archers because they need to shoot the Germanic infantry with them. Like, these chosen axemen, a few volleys and they'll be down to like less than half. So got to be really careful when you use them. And Corpsmen skirmishing pretty well. Princess Luna skirmishing really well as well. And they're just shooting away at these guys. And the more ammo they use, the less ammo they have for the infantry of Germania, so that's good for us. I saw Corpsmen pushing a bit to the left side, so I'll move up a bit later, I believe. And yeah, I left the center a bit open because we had tons of cab anyway, so Corpsman cleverly sees one of Hades' Praetorian cav units come in here and gets a decent engagement. It's pretty even. So I put in one of my cav units, but Hades wisely pulls back. Over here we see Ormen. He's moved up a bit, and he does seem quite isolated. So this is when I started thinking whether we should put the berserkers on the left instead. Hades seems to be the slowest to move up of the 3. So yeah, berserkers are still safe. There are 3 of them, they're just hidden. Yep, going pretty normally. And it's this gesture that kind of convinces me that we have to go left, because if Corpsman pushes the left flank, we cannot push the right flank because it will leave us like completely exposed on both flanks, since we have nothing in the middle. And yeah, so Germania won't be able to hold the middle by itself, so we've got to pick a side. We've got to pick either go left or go right, and this means we have to go left because Ormen's getting pushed by Cops. So Cops kind of made us go left, really. Didn't have much choice. If we went right, we would have been just overstretched, and it would have been pretty bad. So I'm just going to keep pace with Ormen here, get my infantry close, ready to support. Ormen does have infantry superiority over Cops, so he's going to just stay here and kind of pillar it out with Cops. And here Ormen manages to catch a little bit of Cops infantry, so that's a bit of a worry. Hades has just pushed up some urbans here to sponge some peeler off me, so it doesn't hit Ormen. And Raging Asian has just put his infantry out over here, really isolated, but it's definitely a threat to this flank. And these guys know that we've got nothing on this flank if we focus on this flank. So it's going to be a time trial, really, if we push that flank. I'm folding in because this forces Raging Asian to stretch even further away if he wants to outflank me. So that's why I think folding in is good when you're defending. So yeah, just letting Corpsman do his stuff. But Hades has reinforced Ormen with some of his urbans. So it's still going to be tough because we've got a mass route essentially 2 armies of Urbans here and 2 armies of really heavily upgraded cav. But Raging Asian's kind of isolated himself here. I think he should probably stick close. But he's pushing really far out to the flank. And here Cops has moved again even further to the left. So I've got to move up and support him. Because if I don't, then Hades will have a perfect opportunity to just gank him. So yeah. Here, Raging Asian, still really far away. I'm not too worried about him. And although I could stay here to try and protect these archers, they're not really worth protecting now since they're down to 20 and 36, which is like less than half of their original units. And yeah, this one's down to 35. So they probably don't have much ammo left and they're not going to be too effective anyway, so yeah. They did sponge some Pila, which is pretty funny. I go for a charge here because I see all Hades and Ormen's cav are back here. So, managed to get a charge off into these Testudos, but didn't manage to rout any of them. Bit sad. These archers either just get, I don't know, suicide charged, so they die. These guys, not many of them left, just 13 and 28. They wouldn't have made much of a difference at this point, so they're just getting off as many arrows as they can, I suppose. And they're even shooting at these Testudos, so they're not being very effective. Ormen has wisely pulled back, so now we've got to chase him again if we want to get the left flank. And Raging Asian's pulled himself back to the center. I started worrying at this point, because if they actually just grouped together and just went full defense, we might have had a problem. But you'll see later what happens. So we're pulling these 3 berserkers out to the left flank right now. It should be pretty evident to these guys if they saw this that we're going to try pushing the left flank really hard. Yeah. So I'm keeping my army here, keeping pace with Copsman. I'm not being aggressive and trying to push into Hades even though he's got all these Testudos and stuff, because I know Copsman needs the backup, all the backup he can get. His troops are going to be the main holding force of our push against Ormen. So I need to keep him really safe. And here again, I'm going for some sneaky charges on these Urbans. And I believe I managed to rout one. Yep, I managed to rout an Urban here, which is pretty nice. So yeah, Princess Luna still got her cav out here, but it's not going to do much. So she should, yeah, she's pulling them back. And she's got a random unit of chosen archers back here. They're just shooting away at random stuff. Not doing too much really, but helping out nonetheless. And this is where it becomes really bleeding obvious that we're going to push Ormen. It's like all the berserkers are here. So these guys noticed and they're pulling all their cav on this side. Raging Asian hasn't pulled his cav on that side, and I suspect it might be because he's going to go for the time trial option, try and push around and try and destroy my army before we can get a good mass rout on Ormen. He kind of has to do that, but he's playing pretty statically with these infantry right now. He's just got like a Testudo there, and his infantry isn't really aggressively pushing. Sometimes when people move back, people take it as an invitation to attack them, but I'm not taking the bait here. I'm just going to sit back, fold in. As you can see, it's on an angle, so I'm not pushing at all. I'm really just waiting for the decisive moment over here. Yeah, sometimes the best move isn't to just push. So yep, still waiting here. Ormen and Hades cav are in position here, so like get a massive counter charge. Ormen moves 3 Urbans here to stop getting outflanked. Hades is holding the center pretty solidly, but the thing is here, Raging Asian isn't pushing my flank, so he's not even trying to force me to fold in. That might be because yeah, he would get isolated, but it's pretty worth. Like, we are already pretty stretched out on this side. So pushing around there, this side might not be that bad. And here we're running the berserkers even further left. Killing off the archer auxilia, or making them waste their ammo. Like, these guys have no ammo left, which is great, because it means they can't touch our berserkers with any of their missiles. And these guys are safe now, even though they're in the front lines, so it's great. Well, some of them might be taking a bit of arrow fire, but generally it's pretty good. And over here, some of Princess Luna's chosen archers just got mopped up, but they weren't going to do much anyway. So now we're pretty much out of archers, but they used up most of their arrows and got a lot of shots off anyway, so it was pretty worthwhile. We've got Cops over here trying to get a flanking force to outflank Ormen a bit more. Copsman's job is to provide a platform for Princess Luna to step off so that we can quickly mass route Ormen. So Princess Luna right now, I think she's going to activate the war cry, which will put the berserkers onto crazy mode. And I'm not sure why he made the berserker his general, but oh well, whatever. So I see the berserkers go in, and I know I've got to hold off Hades and Raging Asian. So berserkers go in, and once the berserkers go in, you have to follow them, right? You can't, like, if the berserkers die, or you just leave them hanging, that's like a lot of Denarii wasted. So I'm gonna push up here, and I'm going to engage a lot of Hades testudos, as well as some of Ormen's testudos on this side. And I'm just gonna pull my cav all the way to this side and target, I think, this unit here. So what Raging Asian needs to do now is to mass route me as quickly as he can. But I'm going to play really defensively here, pull my guys back, just make a solid guard mode wall, while the berserkers and our cav are working their stuff here in the left flank. So as you can see, Raging Asian being really ineffective with his cav, and it's costing him because his allies' cav just got mass routed, as you can see. Basically we pulled most of our cav, or at least myself and Copsman's cav, and we just smashed the heck out of Titan's, Hades' cav and Ormen's cav. Anyway, Ormen goes for a charge. He knows that the only hope they have now is to mass route this side. And Raging Asian realizes this, but way too late. He's moving his infantry around now, but yeah, he's putting his cav in. But I've got these guys like full halt, like they're not moving at all and they're in guard mode, which is the best way to take a cavalry hit for infantry. I mean, it still hurts, but it's not as bad as it would be. And meanwhile, we've just fully wrapped up this left flank. Like the only things left are Titans, Hades, infantry, but they're surrounded by Germanic cav and they're gonna get hammer and anviled. I'm just pushing across, carrying the mass route over, and there goes Ormen's general. I'm just going to keep pushing through into the back of the Scipii. So now it's pretty chaotic. We've got stuff here, just holding out barely. I'm just testudoing everything to stall. This is like the perfect moment to stall. And I'm just moving these guys into defensive formation to face the rest of Raging Asian's army. But they've lost 2 armies, and we've only lost like 1 army at most. And we've got a ton of urbans left though still. And I think even a few chosen axemen are in the fray here. So Raging Asian is getting way too caught up on my testudos, and it's giving us a lot of time to get rid of the big group of infantry and cavalry over here. And the berserkers are still going, which is wonderful, because they're doing a lot of the fear work. So I'm getting my formation back in place. I forgot about these 2 guys, which I sent to support Copsman, but I'll put them back in the fray later. And I forgot about these guys and I went for a charge into the Scipii cav. But the Scipii are mass routing by now, so you can't really save it. Yeah, we've just got too much infantry left, too much cavalry left, or the enemy has too little cavalry left. So we're quickly going to wrap this up. I've got quite a bit of infantry left. We've got a lot of chosen axemen left. And even Kopsman has got some of his infantry left, and he's just pushing it through. And I'm pushing my infantry through as well now. And this was pretty much a GG. We've even got some berserkers still flashing, which is pretty cool. So there you go, master out. So there you have it. Good game, well played to everyone who was in it. Really well played to my allies. Hope you enjoyed the Germanic rush. And yeah, here's the kill sheet. Not sure which one's me. Oh well. Most of my cav got the kills. So yeah, as you can see here, 140s, so over 100. Same with this guy. We got a lot of kills with this cav. So that was probably Cops, and that was me. Yeah, see you next time.